welcome to Breakfast with Bridgett on this Wednesday, July 3rd. I'm your host, Bridgett Ellison. Good to have you here on News 6 Plus, streaming on your smart TV and clickorlando.com. Of course, we're getting ready for the big holiday tomorrow, July 4th, Independence Day, and lots of festivities already kicking off today. And we have all those details on clickorlando.com. Of course, everybody wondering about the weather as well. And Chief Meteorologist Candace Campos is in the Pinpoint Weather Center, where you said we were talking about red hot and boom. That's tonight. You said red hot and what was it? Phew.
Phew.
Yeah. That's it.
It's just, and like this is what you need to be doing. And it's not just drinking water, because you can say, oh, I'm drinking all this water, but you need to make sure that you're keeping up with your electrolytes. I know it sounds all like I'm no nutritionist here, but there is certainly more efficient ways of staying hydrated.
Right.
My husband, who's a firefighter, and they actually train, they do this when they're training. Of course, they always have to be hydrated no matter what, because they never know what they're going to get. But they always say to put a pinch of salt in your water.
Yeah, I gotta
because
try that.
that helps replace all the sodium that you're losing from all your sweating.
Just
so it's like
pinch.
little things like that. Just a pinch of salt. Okay. I like to throw in like a lemon.
Oh yeah,
a little lemon wedge or something like that, just to kind of help me, give me some type of flavor. Some people even say like drinking milk. I know it sounds gross, but like drinking milk before you head out the door, because that actually gives you a lot
Ron
more.
Burgundy said milk was a bad choice.
Well, it's like you got to try finding ways.
Okay.
Yeah, you got to just try finding ways of getting the nutrients that you need. So anyway,
and the juicy fruits, like the doctor was telling us the other week, the juicy fruits and veggies too for snacks.
Yeah,
things like that help.
So it's not just pure water bottles, because that you just kind of runs its course. But kind of adding things to your water if you can. All right, I'm off my water soapbox. Let's talk about the weather forecast. It really is, especially because we have so many things going on. People enjoying the beaches, backyard barbecues, the theme parks.
And that heat index.
Big time. Yeah. And that heat index is really going to be felt no matter where you are in Central Florida. So let's show you here. This is the information you need to know out the door on this July 3rd. Hotter afternoons, the temperature's cranking up a few degrees over the next few days. Heat index is climbing to about 102 to 108. And then we're also talking about a few storms really favoring far inland zones. So as we take you here throughout the next few hours, not much to talk about before 1 o'clock other than that heat. Highs today will be back into the mid 90s. It will be humid. It will be muggy. And those storms, again, favoring areas west of 95 and really west of 75 for today. Look at your heat index running between 103, 107. Some models showing upwards of 110 or greater for areas in Marion County. So again, widespread, you can't escape it unless you're indoors, will be that heat. Clouds and rain forecast still showing a couple of those bubble up scattered showers and thunderstorms, very typical for this time of the year. But that East Coast sea breeze today is going to be the dominant sea breeze today, and that's going to start shifting most of the activity west of I-4 by 3 o'clock, and then pushing it even further west by about 8, 9 o'clock this evening. So I know that we do have fireworks shows already scheduled for today. We have, of course, Red Hot and Boom. There's other events going on across Central Florida. I think fireworks, for the most part, by 9 o'clock should be good to go. And then we'll start that all up again for your 4th of July. Scattered showers lining up along I-4 by about 2, 3 o'clock. And then again, I think this is a little oversold. I think we'll have a couple of lightning strikes, a little bit of thunder and lightning by about 6 for our far western communities along 75 and out towards the west. But then again, by 9 o'clock, I love this image real quick because it looks like the majority of Central Florida, again, looks pretty good for a summer evening. I think most of our storm activity will taper off with plenty of time to spare for most of fireworks across Central Florida. But the one that we really like to talk about is the fireworks at the Fountain. The News 6 team will be there. So 5 o'clock, temperatures will still be in the low 90s. Few scattered storms can't be ruled out. Then as the sun starts to go down by 7 p.m., we'll be about 88 degrees. Rain chances kind of fade out. Fireworks go off by about 9, 9:10. We'll be in the mid 80s. We're looking relatively dry. One thing that unfortunately we still are talking about is Hurricane Beryl. Bridgett, the 5 a.m. Advisory has it at 1:45. We should get an intermediate advisory any moment now. We have hurricane hunters in there approaching Jamaica in the next few hours. The last time Jamaica actually had a direct hit was with Hurricane Sandy in 2012. So that's been what, 12 years now. So
Mm.
whether or not this is a direct hit or not, it's still going to cause devastating winds,
Mm-hmm.
devastating storm surge. And I know we've been doing the stories all morning long about how
Mm-hmm.
folks there are making the preparations that they need before the storm gets here. So you can see by about 2 o'clock this afternoon, it will be at its closest approach to Jamaica. And then as it continues to just kind of brush the Cayman Islands there throughout Thursday morning, the interaction with land is going to help start kind of slowing down the wind speeds a bit, but still packing winds of 100, 105 miles per hour as it
Mm.
approaches the Yucatan Peninsula, Cancun, southward, also under hurricane watches. We have hurricane warnings right now in effect for Jamaica and the Cayman Islands. But look what happens once it reemerges into the Gulf of Mexico. There will be that potential that it maintains its organization and then re-strengthens into a hurricane again early Sunday. Of course, intensity forecast fluctuates a lot, especially this time of the year with a storm this intense. But of course, that's where we'll have our best chance for a U.S. impact, which could be southern Texas by then. So, of course, that is something we'll be watching. And then on the backside, just on the heels of Hurricane Beryl, there is a area of low pressure, very broad with a tropical wave. It's been looking a little more impressive over the last couple of frames here on our satellite imagery, but it's having to deal with a lot of obstacles. There's dealing with a lot of shear, some of that shear actually being produced by Beryl. We have Saharan dust is kind of mixed in. So right now that has a low chance, not sure how much that's going to develop over the next couple of days. But of course, like always, we are watching it all here at News 6. And then as we get results here, there are a full 7-day forecast. 4th of July, we have that big ridge of high pressure, by the way, to thank. The ridge that's keeping us extremely hot is also the reason why we are not talking about tropical troubles here in Central Florida, because Beryl could have taken a much farther northern track, and
Mm.
this could be a completely different story, you know?
Yeah.
So although the heat is certainly dangerous,
Mm-hmm.
it is something that we can respect, take care of ourselves, but at least we're not dealing with the other option. Unfortunately, Jamaica, it looks like they're going to be seeing kind of the worst of the weather between now and this afternoon.
Yeah, and we do have that wrap up on the latest from Mark Lehman
Mhm.
coming up too on Beryl, but it is this interesting take when you talk about the high pressure system and how that really did push into that track. So,
It really is a butterfly effect
mm-hmm.
in the entire climate. You know, we talk about an El Nino, La Nina having these impacts globally. We also have impacts more localized, you know, with the ridge
Mm-hmm.
of high pressure acting as that roadblock. It just all kind of, you know, goes, that domino effect. And that's why
Mm-hmm.
that wave behind Beryl is weakening, because of some of that shearing that Beryl has created. You know, when the storm packs a punch like it has been as a category 4 or 5 storm, it creates its own atmosphere. It
Mm-hmm.
creates its own weather patterns. And that's what's impacting that tropical wave behind it. So
Okay.
hopefully we'll have a little bit of a lull after we get kind of done with these two areas that we're highlighting here. But of course, we'll get that update at 8 o'clock, and then we will let you know if it does officially make landfall. Of course, it all depends on if that center does make its way onto the island.
All right. Well, we certainly hope that it continues to push a little bit more
Same.
south. All right. Thanks, Candace.
You're
See
welcome.
you soon.
Bye.
Bye. And we want to check in with traffic safety expert Trooper Steve out in Results One. And we had a good time this morning on the desk. And now we had some funny moments today.
I couldn't talk today. An accent that I don't know where I was. I don't know what I was saying. I was
Well,
saying,
in our defense, we ran the prompter too for a good part of it. So
yeah. So like my mind was going back and forth a little bit there, but it's always fun. It's always interesting. I love that we keep the team together when we do that stuff. When ever one of you guys are out, I have no problem filling in for one of you great ladies. So I appreciate you guys. You guys make it nice and smooth.
it was good. It was fun. And so now on to the rolling out to the next thing.
Yeah. So let's do because we do have that fatal that we've now.
A little
Can you
bit
still hear me?
glitchy. We see you, and it's just a little glitchy with the audio.
Okay. I see that. It keeps going in and out. Weird. We are watching this fatal crash right now off of Silver Star Road and Princeton. Princeton is shut down between Silver Star and Mercy. It's that rural portion of that little part of the roadway there. We have no information on this yet. Florida Highway Patrol is working. They're still waiting on something to come out from them. But that area is closed. You can start to see some slight delays along Silver Star eastbound, but this is a small portion of the roadway that is closed. Moving on towards I-4, we're fairly routine out here this morning, Bridgett. No major slowdowns. I am seeing those attraction slowdowns. Looks like a lot of people might be headed out towards the parks, whether it's SeaWorld, Universal, or Disney, or even some of our other smaller ones. The eastbound delay there at Champions Gate, nothing that you should be worried about. So some minor crashes. One here on the east side, serious labeled, but Valencia College westbound near Chickasaw, right there at the intersection. Be careful out there. FHB already on scene here. And then I do have another one up in the I-4 area. They're saying that this is going to be a disabled vehicle westbound on 434 approaching I-4. So just be careful as you're headed in that area. Seminole, you guys are looking pretty good this morning. No heavy delay, but it is there. And then, Bridgett, we've been talking about so many other places. I wanted to make sure that we talk about Mount Dora. Mount Dora will probably have the second closest celebration to the fireworks throughout Central Florida. Obviously, Red Hot and Boom tonight, Mount Dora, DeLand, and other places. Some will be out here in the Mount Dora area, so do expect a lot of people. And watch out for that, Bridgett. Traffic conditions doing pretty good. People just need to be careful. Don't be crazy out there over the next couple of days. And I can't believe I need to say this, but fireworks do not belong in your car, meaning that you should not be shooting a vehicle. Freeze on you again. There we go.
Yeah,
I'm back.
repeat that.
You should not be throwing any fireworks out of your vehicle.
All right.
This is usually a youth problem, and I get it. It's not malicious, but you're just excited and trying to be a kid. But it's extremely dangerous, and you can be arrested for something like that. So a simple, what you think is a joke could result in some serious charges or mess up your hand. I'm going to post a rather interesting meme on Facebook later to get everyone's attention. It's not going to be the nicest meme, but we want to see you Friday with all of your fingers, please. Okay, everybody. Outside of that, guess who I get to have in the truck with me today?
You told me it's a familiar
I
face, and I was a Captain.
No, it's going to be
No?
Chief of Police of the
Oh,
Police Department. Smith is going to join. Yeah, you know him, Bridgett. Everyone knows Eric Smith. So he's going to join me today. He doesn't do live interviews often, so I am so excited. The coolest thing I think about Chief Eric Smith is me being familiar with the law enforcement world. He is a leader who is equally liked by his community and his department. And I know that should be a normal occurrence, but it doesn't always hit the same equal. This guy's amazing. We're going to get to talk today, learn a little bit about his career, and of course, talk about July 4th, fireworks at the fountain, the safety, take side information today at 10 a.m.
very good, very good. Okay, so we'll see you then. We'll see you there. All right, thanks. All righty. So like we mentioned earlier, we wanted to get a wrap up on the latest details we have so far on Hurricane Beryl as it inches closer to that impact directly on Jamaica and the preps that are happening there and what's happening here as many people have tried to evacuate and come back to the States. And then we've got people here with loved ones in Jamaica trying to help get ready to help in any way they can as they ride out that storm. So here's Mark with more.
Supermarkets were crowded across Jamaica yesterday as the island has been preparing for the impact of Hurricane Beryl.
I'm encouraging all Jamaicans to take the hurricane as a serious threat. It is, however, not a time for panic.
The powerful storm is expected to bring life-threatening winds and storm surge to Jamaica. Redford Jeffrey lives in Kingston and spoke with News 6's Emily McLeod about the situation there.
Some supermarkets, the shelves are empty, so people are purchasing food. People are cutting down trees that are hanging over their homes.
Beryl has left 6 dead in the Caribbean so far. As a Category 4, it was the strongest hurricane on record to ever pass through the Grenadines.
Numerous of our citizens have lost their roofs and do not have any shelter over their heads.
And with Jamaica at risk of severe damage, those here at home are also thinking of ways to provide relief after the storm hits.
Yeah, we're all very, very concerned and frightened for family, friends in Jamaica.
And you can follow along with the latest developments on our website, clickorlando.com. Also, to track the latest on these tropics and the updates on the storms, download our Pinpoint Hurricane Tracker app. Search WKMG in your app store. It is a whole separate app from our weather app. So you get both of those in the app store for free, and personalize it to the notifications you'd like to receive when updates come out. And now we want to tell you about that heat. And we talked about the heat for the holiday. There's also concern about 36 million people across the country who have to work in extreme heat every day. And there is a new federal proposal. So this is back again in the lawmakers' hands, talking about ways to try to help workers working in the heat. News 6's Treasure Roberts explains how the Biden administration is working to get results on this.
Heat waves are scorching states across the U.S. The rise in temps can be a threat to communities.
But extreme heat is the #1 weather-related killer in the United States. More people die from extreme heat than floods, hurricanes, and tornadoes combined.
Tuesday, President Joe Biden said his administration is working to protect workers and communities from the impacts of intense heat. The White House says farm workers, firefighters, and construction workers are disproportionately impacted by extreme heat. Biden's administration says hundreds of workers have died and thousands more are hospitalized each year. That's why the Florida Farm Workers Association called on state legislators to provide them heat protections back in May, after Governor Ron DeSantis signed House Bill 433. The law prohibits local governments from implementing rules requiring firms to protect workers from extreme heat.
And I've seen Governor DeSantis display cruelty. I don't think it can be characterized as anything other than cruelty for communities of color, immigrant communities.
That's Ernesto, a member of the Florida Farm Workers Association.
Also because I think that they view our communities as expendable labor force, because there's so many of us here looking for work that Americans, citizens or residents will not do.
President Biden has asked the Department of Labor to issue the first ever hazard alert for heat. It aims to reaffirm that workers have heat-related protections under federal law. The Department of Labor also plans to provide information on what employers should be doing now to protect their workers.
With those latest developments in trying to protect workers in the heat. Now we want to tell you about Red Hot and Boom tonight in Altamont Springs, one of several shows happening across Central Florida. This one, a big tradition for the Altamont Springs area around Cranes Roost Park. News 6's Ezzy Castro has more on some of the changes this year.
In a few hours, Crane Roost Park will be packed with thousands of people for Red Hot and Boom here in Altamont Springs.
Depending on how the weather goes, we're going to have between 150 and 250,000 people, which is just an enormous amount of people all coming together.
We met with City Manager Frank Martz. He explained this year they had to make a few changes to their annual fireworks show due to some of the construction around the park.
So this year, the size of the fireworks are going to change, but the intensity of them and just the spectacular nature of the fireworks show this year is going to be unlike we've ever done before.
Altamont Springs Police, along with other first responders, say they are prepared for the big crowds, adding that safety is their #1 priority.
They will find that we're going to have checkpoints. These checkpoints, they'll be checking bags, backpacks, and any coolers.
All right, and we have our Ezzy Castro out there live at Cranes Roost Park. Good morning, Ezzy.
Good morning, Bridget. How are you?
Oh, hanging in there with that little summer cold fun. But
yeah,
this is really one of the biggest shows that people love to go to. And, traditionally it's always the day before the 4th.
And I do love that. It's like, you get the 4th of July Eve celebration right before. And it's quiet right now. Well, sort of, because I can hear the workers out here working. But right now it's just pretty quiet. You got like the walkers and the runners just enjoying the morning. But that's all going to change. You can see right behind me, that's the stage ready to go. And right here on the lake, you can see where the fireworks are going to go as well. I'm trying to give you guys a good view right there. Yeah, there you go. You see that?
It's such a beautiful venue.
Yeah.
And
It is. And it's like hard to believe how many people actually fit here. They're saying up to 200,000, Bridget. So
Wow.
imagine that.
So
Yeah.
what's always kept me away, though, of course, is that, we work mornings. And then I
Yeah.
think about the logistics of like maybe where to strategically park and get back to your car and all of those things. But, if you live close by, it's so convenient and you can just walk
I
over.
know. Yeah, you can see, you got some of the high rises here. I'm sure all those people, they get to sit and watch from their balconies.
That's
And
true.
then, I mean, so, and I reported this earlier, they made some small changes to the fireworks show. So the city said they had to do smaller fireworks because of all the construction. And right there, I don't know if you see that building right on my shoulder?
Yes.
Yeah, that's construction. There's other construction on the other side of the lake as well. So because of that, they had to kind of, go smaller. However, they said the show will still go on and it's still going to be good. We're going to be vibing. It's going to be great. So, which they do every year. It's so successful. A lot of people not only from Altamont come out here, but also from like out of Central Florida. They just come and they want to drive up here, watch the show, and then they go back home, which is great.
So that construction, we've been reporting on that construction as well, and there's a lot There's a lot happening in that area, which is, I would have thought there wasn't much room to change a lot out there, but there has been a lot of development, and there's a lot of things kind of changing right there around Crane's Roost. So.
Yeah, we're talking about Red Hot and Boom. I'm going to change it to Red Hot and Boomtown because there's a lot of construction around us, which is good to see, more residents in the area. But I'm getting closer to the stage if you want to see right here.
And basically, it's because they can't set up those pyrotechnics in as many locations. Like when we saw the file video shows you, there's fireworks kind of going off in several different angles and corners. And so I guess they had to sort of tighten it up a little bit.
The city manager explained that because of fire codes, they had to do some of those changes. But either way, I mean, they're talking about thousands of fireworks and like every 10 seconds they're going to go off. Boom, boom, boom. So hopefully everything goes as scheduled because the show is supposed to start at 9:30. And this year, which I also reported in earlier today, was that, other years people get here at, right at 4. That's when the performances start. But this year, the event starts at 5. So keep in mind, I mean, the number one thing people are talking about is el calor, the heat.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I'm already kind of hot just walking by here. So
I'm thinking
imagine it's just only.
I'd ideally go to one of those restaurants over there and hang out for a little while before.
And then go. Yeah.
Right.
I saw a mom show up with her kids right before, just around 6:55 when we started to wrap the show. She was walking in with her bags and I said, "Oh, you got up early." And she said, "Well, we have a friend that lives here. So we're just going to hang out all day until the show," which is a good idea.
Very nice. Yes.
Yeah.
It's definitely, as long as you're prepared for the heat and just have a fun, safe time out there today. And, like you said, come early to get that good spot because like you said, I mean, 200,000 people.
I know. Imagine, I mean, all the spots are right here.
And you got the mall right over there too. So I'm just wondering.
I'm going to walk, there we go, so against the sun here so you can see me. But if I bump into someone, let me know, Bridget. But I'm walking backwards here so you guys can see me. Okay, good.
I remember when I was like 9.5 months pregnant with Ethan and we were out there for Salsa y Sazon. Do you remember that?
Yes.
It was so fun.
Oh, my gosh. That was a while back. That was so much fun. That was a
Yes.
good time. They got to bring it back.
Yes, that was a fun time out there. Such a great venue. Glad that they were able to make some adjustments. I know we had news about adjustments out there, I think the past few years, but they always make it
Yeah,
happen.
they do. And, Crane's Roost always reminds me too, like, I remember Red Hot and Boom, during the COVID area or time rather. And that was rough too. But this venue, like you said, it's one of a kind. People, I see them have picnics on the other side. People are walking, they're running, they bring their dogs. But I just wanted to point out that, law enforcement will be here, officers will be here, paramedics will be here. Everybody's kind of ready, for the big crowds that are coming. And we do have more information about what you can bring, what you can,
Oh, good.
what you can bring and not bring, all that stuff, because officers did say that they're going to do some searches if they need to. They just want to warn people about that. So we have more info on clickorlando.com.
Good deal. Big night tonight. Ezzy live
Yeah.
at Crane's Roost in
Yeah.
Altamont. Thank you. I'll see you
Yeah.
soon.
All right.
All right.
See ya. Bye.
Take care. So like we mentioned, that's tonight. There are several other fireworks shows tonight. You can find the full listing on clickorlando.com. And of course, we're hitting the road to Lake Eola tomorrow for fireworks at the fountain and salute to heroes. So we hope to see you there. We'll be out there at a new 6 tent over near the Eola house. And so come by, get some free swag, say hello to the team. We'll all be out there at different times in the afternoon tomorrow. And all of the festivities and coverage on News 6 Live starts at 4 p.m. from Lake Eola Park. And those fireworks also happening. That comes up after 9. But we have our City of Heroes salute that starts at 8 p.m. on News 6, where we will highlight so many community leaders and folks getting results and the heroes in our community, and many of them unsung heroes. So check that out at 8 o'clock tomorrow before the big fireworks show at 9. And of course, if you're not going to be able to get out there to the park, you can see it live in full color in all its glory from all the best views, really, on clickorlando.com. So we'll see you there for that too as well. But that'll do us for now. Weather-wise is up next.